Welcome into DC On Screen, a podcast about the DC Universe properties being brought to film and television. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and this is my co-host, Jason.
Hello.
Alright guys, so first of all, this is a news episode, and we're going to get a little spoilery on all given fronts. Anything that Warner Brothers is putting out in terms of DC properties being brought to film and television. We might get a little spoilery on some of that, or all of that. First off, though, I want to say that, well, yeah, we can. But I wanted to apologize. We kind of had like a huge boost in numbers, and then we think it may have been an issue with one of the podcatchers just downloading like 45 episodes for a number of people.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Bethany had that issue. It's just with the generic like Apple podcatcher, as far as I know.
We really having trouble tracking down exactly what that is, because frankly, we're not Apple users. I'm sorry, other half of the world, but
right.
That's not what we're used to. So we're in the other camp. But yeah, if that happened to you, sorry about that. We looked at the boost of the numbers and thought, no, there's no way that's right.
Yeah, I was really excited because you never know when the right person might find you and throw you up somewhere, and you kind of get a big boost.
You get a little
so I was excited for a minute.
Yeah.
And had no reason to distrust it. And then I was hanging out with Bethany, and she was like, "Yeah, so I opened up my podcatcher like yesterday, and it downloaded like 45 episodes at once." And I went, "Oh man."
So reason prevailed. We looked at it very briefly. Logic won the day, and we realized that our bump in numbers was probably false. And we can, like I said, we think it's the generic podcast option. If, by the way, if it happened to anybody and you want to just like send us a quick little note saying, "Yeah, I had this and it happened to me," we'd love to know exactly how that happened, so it doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
We want you to have 45 episodes of us to download when you choose to.
Right. So
not when your phone decided so.
We did. We had about 10 times more than we generally do. 10 times more downloads, which is kind of great because it kind of gave us an idea of how many people are listening, which is not really a thing podcasts are able to do most of the time. Yeah,
podcast numbers are insane. It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, but it kept going for days and days, though. So, I mean, yeah, it was weird.
I think it's settled as of now. Everything got back to the baseline that we were used to.
Yeah, it definitely has gotten back to the baseline I'm used to. But yeah, if you guys would like email us at dconscreen@gmail.com, just let us know if you want to, if you feel like it. You can also email us for any other reason, but we would kind of like to know what exactly went down. That said, we should move on to some news.
A glimpse of our feudal battle against the internet.
Right. Now there's a bit of news that I didn't get into, and I'd forgotten that it was posted. Christopher White sent it to us, and it was really sad news. George Barris, the guy that created the Batmobile for the 1966 Batman series, he died last week.
That's all.
He was 89 years old. This is the guy that he also did the funeral home on wheels for the monsters. He did the car for the Beverly Hillbillies. He created Knight Rider.
Right. Yeah, he was a big leaguer.
This is a legend.
Yeah.
This is a legend.
And I don't know the other genres well enough to pick. I don't know the other shows well enough, but we do know Batman well enough to say like that was a seminal design for the Batmobile. Pretty much everything since had something to do with where they got that. You can sit there and kind of draw out how it all morphed over time.
I will say this: I have probably I am actually having trouble counting how many versions of this Batmobile I have laying around my house.
Right.
Like
just from one spot that you could turn your head and count. Right.
I mean, I have a number of like the Micro Machine versions of it. I have like some slightly bigger Matchbox version. I don't know. I've got so many versions.
A couple of Happy Meal versions hanging around there.
It is one of my favorite all-time cars, the Batmobile. And I'm not talking about just any Batmobile. I'm talking about specifically his Batmobile. So,
right.
I don't know, man. Give it up for him.
No, yeah.
Also, we had a little. We kind of shuffled some news around mid-episode, and I just forgot a thing. I just skipped right over it. like I have like a list, and I go in order of that list that I'm looking at. And Jason mentioned a thing, and I went, oh, "Okay, we'll go ahead and talk about that." And then that meant skipping. So anyway, Ralph Fiennes, I don't know, is going to be voicing Alfred. And Mariah Carey is voicing the mayor of Gotham City in the Lego Batman movie. So that's happening.
Oh, cool.
So that was last week. Now let's get into this week.
Mm-hmm.
Justice
League, do our actual job. What, 8 minutes into the show?
Right. Chris White sent us this, actually. Justice League is going to start shooting in the first or second quarter of 2016, and they're shooting in the UK. There is also apparently a report, and this is just a rumor, by the way, but there's a report that is saying that Mera, the Queen of Atlantis, is going to be showing up first in Justice League. She's actually going to be in there. So that's kind of cool.
That is surprising, but
that's surprising,
I'll take it.
But yeah,
I'll take it.
So do you remember a couple?
That's not who they're talking about for Nicole Kidman, right?
No.
Okay. They were thinking.
No, she's going to be in Wonder Woman. Right? Yeah.
Just making sure.
Now, do you remember? Speaking of rumors, do you remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about that ridiculous rumor that Ben Affleck was actually playing Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Well, that theory said that Christian Bale was actually still Bruce Wayne in the timeline. This was actually secretly going to be a Christopher Nolan thing, and Christian Bale was asked about it, and he says it's absolutely not happening. He says he hasn't kept up with it. He's removed himself from everything. He says he actually said, "I'm oblivious to it."
Right. Well, I mean, what else could he do? Like, why would he be keeping tabs on it? He's not, poor guy. He's not relevant to this process anymore. Just move on.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I'm concerned, he wasn't relevant to Batman anyway.
He was not. So, that was not our bat. We've expressed this several times.
We have. Now, Wonder Woman began production on the 11th of this month, November. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try to say this name correctly, but I'm probably not going to.
You're not. We're terrible at this. Just shoot.
Said Taghmaoui.
Oh, God. I haven't even seen that name written down, and I guarantee it's wrong, because there's no way we got something that complicated right.
Well, I listened to pronunciation of it like 5 or 6 times.
Okay, so you sat there and practiced this. That's the only way I would have any faith.
And then wrote it down phonetically, and I'm probably still wrong. But, yeah. He's a French actor. And he is working on Wonder Woman. And apparently, it looks like he's going to be a big deal in the thing, because he leaked some Wonder Woman set pictures, and it's like him and Steve Trevor, and they're like in World War II gear, and it looks very cool. And they also they took pictures of the the actor chairs, and it was like his, and then like Chris Pine's, and then Gal Gadot. So they're all 3 together. And they did an interview with him, though, and they said, after just having finished shooting Infiltrator, you've already hopped onto your next project, Wonder Woman. What role will you be playing? He says, I'll be playing a superhero, but details are still under wraps. I can't tell you much. And they said, how did you get the role? He says, hard work, luck. I was among hundreds of potential candidates, and I slowly became the favorite. It wasn't easy. It took me 3 months. And they asked him what process he'll be going through and what kind of preparation. And he says, I'll have to go through extensive physical training. Shooting is scheduled to begin in November, and it will take about 6 months in 4 different countries. So, I mean, I don't know who he could be playing. I looked at him, and he just kind of, he kind of looks very Tony Stark to me. He's got a beard.
I could see that.
Now, did you look him up?
Yeah, I had to get an eye on him. I've never heard of this guy in my life. He could go a couple ways.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to get some idea of who I think maybe, but not really. Honestly, there's really not much coming to mind, right? I mean,
it's gonna kill me if he's like Vandal Savage.
Now he said he was going to be a superhero or a supervillain.
He said superhero.
Huh. And he had to go through extensive physical training, which.
But I will say though,
you will have to.
I looked at the actual article, and what I just read was all translated from French. So he may have said super person. Or it might be a Michael Shannon type of thing where everyone's a superhero, just loosely.
Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing. I mean, he doesn't look like anybody in particular. Nothing just stands out. You want to say maybe he's got a dark enough textures to him. You maybe want to say like a Shazam or something, but it's just not. That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My guess, being that it's from Wonder Woman, is he might be Ares.
See, Ares would make sense, but he did say hero, and I'm almost sure a rough translation would have a different... French isn't that damn different.
Yeah. All right.
Settle down, linguists.
Yeah. I don't know if you got... Have you actually looked at, like the little poster sections in like retail stores and stuff? Like in like Walmart, Target, and whatnot?
Yeah.
Have you looked in those recently?
No.
They've got Batman v Superman posters out now.
Oh, do they seriously?
They really do.
And I saw a bunch of links now for pre-orders of shirts.
Yes. And I was going to get to that. You can go to Merchoid, MERCHOID. They have 4 different T-shirts are available. A couple of them look really cool. A couple of them don't. I'll let you be the judge of those shirts.
You guess which one Dave's referred to.
Yeah. Guess, bitches.
You'll get nothing if you guess right. I'm just throwing that out there now.
No,
this
you
is
won't.
A no-win situation.
If this wasn't a DC podcast, I'd offer the famed Marvel No Prize. But yeah, guys,
I think I could
the Batman
guess which ones you like, though. I think I know.
Okay, maybe that's a
mostly because looking at
question.
these 4, it seems clear that 2 of these are good and 2 of them are bad. So.
Maybe that's it too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious now. Which ones do you think I don't like?
I gotta go. I gotta bet you're thinking the plain ones are the ones that are good. The
What
logo.
do you mean by plain ones?
Well, the Batman, Superman, like the ones that don't have demon and false god on them.
Okay, yeah.
I was assuming
That's
those were the
pretty
ones
much
you weren't
accurate.
as excited about.
Actually, I do like the one that says false god on it.
It's okay. It's okay. Fret
Specifically-
not if you don't like these 4 shirts. There will be about 4 million variations out there in no time.
Yeah. Specifically, I like I like the Superman one that says false god, and I like the one that's like an old boxing promo that says the Gotham Guardian, Batman versus Superman, the last Kryptonian,
Yeah, that one's pretty
the
good.
last son of Krypton or whatever. I like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, so that's the merch train is really rolling. Got some steam behind it. So
Now, beware when you do certain things as far as Merchville goes. Your shirts and your hats and all that, it's not going to come into play here. Here's what gets you. When you start buying toys and Lego sets. I don't even look at Lego sets when a movie like this is coming out because there are spoilers in those motherfuckers.
right, there really is.
They don't have their shit together as far as who puts out what when.
Yeah, they don't.
Like they'll put out something based on Act 3 or 4 that's a big twist in the series, and hey, I want to go see the movie.
Yep. Yeah. Specifically, the Legos are pretty bad about it.
They are.
And sorry, I got a little distracted. Christopher White sent me something just now.
Oh.
And we were going to actually talk about this, so I guess we'll go ahead and talk about it real quick. Ezra Miller was talking about how his Flash will be different, and he didn't really talk about how his Flash will be different per se. He just said that he made some pun about how his Flash is multidimensional, and everyone's trying to make that out to be like there's going to be like a crossover between him and Grant Gustin, but Charles Roven said there's no plans to do that at this time, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Flipper hands.
But the question, though, was more or less about how, what they're going to do with the character. And Chris says, I knew this would be a problem. The creators of this movie are going to have an uphill battle trying to make the Flash interesting. I couldn't agree with him more. Grant Gustin's killing it. They're going to have to do something really funky, something really different. And I kind of don't want to see that either, because I want to see traditional Flash in the Justice League.
Right.
Of course, the multi-dimensional comment, though, was Ezra Miller was talking about, how he wants his character to have layers.
Right. He does
and
not,
then laughs at his own joke.
Yeah, he's not going to be a pan-dimensional anything.
Right.
No, guys. I'm very sorry. Roven's been very specific about it. They've come down hard on that idea slightly, not intentionally, but you say something in an interview, and by the time the headlines are done, it looks like that. But they're not. That's not on the plate, man. It's not on the plate right now, at least.
It's not on the plate right now, but then again, if you go back to that same Charles Roven interview, he pretty much says that they don't have a game plan.
Right. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Things are going to shift, and the whatever layout they think they have right now will not be the final one. It's just period. It's not going to happen. It's going to be based a lot on sales. It's going to be. I mean, as soon as BVS comes out, they're going to do so many focus groups, armies of focus groups to ask which character came off better, and
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as we would all like this to just be a really creative, wonderful way of seeing all the characters we love, there's a business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they'll poll and they'll do their algorithms. And
speaking of it being a business, Suicide Squad is going to be a PG-13 movie. A lot of people were disappointed this week when that came out. People have been complaining because they thought it was going to be an R-rated movie.
Right.
To that, I say you are delusional. I'm sorry. You are delusional. Your head is up your own ass if you thought that was going to be an R-rated movie. Now, they're saying it's going to be a hard PG-13.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hard PG-13. They're going to like push the limits on the PG-13. But I mean,
people are having. Here's why I'm not trying to be as hard on everyone about that. Like we were told stuff like, "Oh, there's an on-set therapist," and Jared Leto's sending dead pigs to people or something. A lot of news coming out where it looked like, well, maybe they're going to go kind of dark. Yeah, well, they're going to go as dark as they can and still keep all of the people they need in those seats. This was never going to be a movie where it was just going to be 18 and up, guys. They need the 13-year-old money as bad as they need anything else.
Yeah, the more they tried to tell me how awful this was going to be, and like, oh man, Leto, we never met Leto, we only met the Joker, blah blah blah. And Joker sending dead rats to people, and I don't know, or Leto sending whatever, I don't know.
Video of him with a pig? I don't understand.
The more shit I hear about that, the less I expect of it. Honestly, like I'm just you're just trying to amp it up so much that it's going to be so dark. I'm like, and what was the one thing that everyone bitched about with Man of Steel? That it was too dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
No, it's not. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a movie that is. I think they're going to go for psychological thriller. Is what they're trying to shoot for, because you can do that. I mean, as long as you don't show certain things on screen, you can kind of deal with a lot more subject matter than you would think. Or, say for instance, one of our favorite things, right? Killing Joke. One of the great arguments. People still go back and forth about whether he actually sexually assaults Barbara. It's a perfectly good example of like leaving it in there where if that's how you read it, that's how you read it. But and you can go that way, and it can be that dark for you, but somebody else can read it and not think that happened, and live without that image in their head for the rest of their lives.
The whole thing becomes a very interesting psychological test for yourself.
Yeah, it does.
Because when you actually go back and look at it and realize they don't really actually say that,
right?
Like, well, I'm really messed up.
Right. Now, you're very worried about yourself at that point, and possibly rightfully so. I'm not sure. More further testing would be required. But no, so it's also not a death knell, though, to me. It doesn't mean they can't make a perfectly good, absolutely fucked up movie. Doesn't mean they can't. It just means they're not going to show you certain things.
Right. Now, okay, I'm one of those that think that he did molest her. Mm-hmm. So I just want to go back and just put in a couple points for me not being crazy or really messed up. He stripped her naked. We actually saw Barbara Gordon's nipple in this thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying. That suggests something to me.
There's evidence in your favor, no doubt.
So there's some Aquaman news. David Leslie Johnson has been tapped to write Aquaman. He has previously written Wrath of Titans and Red Riding Hood. I haven't seen either of those. I know Wrath of Titans looked boring, so I didn't care.
I had not even heard of either one of them. Way out of that loop.
Yeah. So that's who's writing Aquaman, guys. And let's just jump right over to our almost completely bare television news section.
Mm-hmm. Not even Amel could help this week.
Yeah, we are recording on Monday night, so Supergirl is actually playing right now, but they swapped it because of the Paris terrorist attacks. It's going to be episode 5 Livewire, and episode 4 How Does She Do It will run next week on the 23rd.
Is it going to be next week? Did they just decide to give it 1 week's breath?
Yep.
Okay.
They did. Over for Gotham, B.D. Wong has shown some pictures. It looks like him as Hugo Strange. He's got the Hugo Strange goatee. He basically just looks like an Asian Hugo Strange. That's really all he looks like.
Yeah.
He's bald. He's got the little beard, and if it wasn't for seeing the character in so many iterations, I mean, I guess he could have been Asian all along. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's always got those glasses that like cover his eyes, so
right.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's a real line of demarcation here.
Yeah.
It's not like it bothered me one way or the other, man. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of people are very upset about it.
Yeah.
It is really
of all
bothered
the
some
things
people.
to get upset about on Gotham right now. Come on, leave B.D. Wong alone.
Right. Right?
You have bigger problems.
I'm sitting here going, well, I mean, it doesn't really bother me that Hugo Strange is Asian so much as he's raising people from the dead.
Right. It bothers me that death has no meaning in Gotham. That it doesn't bother me.
It bothers me that the show is so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're not going to do a Gotham. Seriously, I'm hoping Barbara can't be saved. I'm hoping they willed her away and that she was too far gone. Mm-hmm. And I would have to personally enter the fictional universe of this show, dismember her, and take her parts to the far corners of the earth to feel better about this.
Right.
That's the only thing that would comfort me, that I wouldn't be seeing her at some point.
I've got some news for you, buddy. Regeneration may be a permanent thing in Gotham.
Of course. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it?
Michelle Gomez from Doctor Who is officially coming on board Gotham as someone called the Lady.
I think it was going to end up being Lady Vic. They kind of said she's the lady right now. I don't know if they were scripting her as that or Lady Vic, or at least that it was supposed to reference Lady Vic. Anyway, it's just a British assassin, British mercantile assassin.
Yeah, I'm on board. I like her.
Yeah, she's doing fine.
I like her a lot.
Not going to lie.
She's fun on Doctor Who.
It took me a second to get used to her. I didn't really get used to her until like the second time I saw her.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, she chewed a lot of scenery. I kind of had to settle back and let it happen.
Man, I'm an old school Star Trek fan. I can get behind the scene chewing.
No, it's fine.
Get some Ricardo Montalban going in there.
Right. I mean, at the time, I had Capaldi over there balancing her perfectly. I got used to it. Just took a second.
Now, she'll probably be awful in Gotham because everyone's awful in Gotham except for Bullock.
Not true.
Except for Bullock.
No. We have picked out several people that we didn't think were majorly the problem.
Okay. All right. Damn. Okay. We like Robin Lord Taylor.
Yeah, well, we like several people, depending on what they're doing, but last week's episode was just deliberately poor. It was willfully bad.
That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
Depending on what they're doing. The show just doesn't have them doing anything very interesting.
Well, it sure as hell didn't last week.
No, it didn't last week. And
I
guess we're about to find out what's happening this week. I don't know. You got anything else?
No.
Because I'm done. I got nothing.
I think I'm spent. Go sign the Constantine petition. That's all I got.
All right.
A worthwhile cause. Make my dreams come true.
Oh, man. Well, we are DC on Screen, and we are a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network. You might be hearing from us a little more in the coming weeks because Netflix is about to drop Jessica Jones. It's going to be a huge there's going to be a huge project going on over the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, and we might be popping over there. So to help out with reviewing Jessica Jones, because we're sure as hell going to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we might be doing some cross-promotional things there in the coming weeks. If you'd like to subscribe to us, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on DCOnScreen.com. You can find every episode. Be sure to give us some 5-star ratings and reviews over on iTunes and Stitcher, because it really does help. It does help us get out there. And if you would like to check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, our sister show, go check out Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall over at MCUcast.com. We'll be back next week, of course, with our, what is it, 4 or 5 episodes, however many the hell we do now. And until that time...
And counting, damn you, Legends of Tomorrow.
We're about to have, in about 3 weeks, we're going to have some off time. So, until then, keep some DC on your screen.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.